You want to spend the what 10, 15 minutes on rut survival?
Yeah, yeah, I think let's do that. So, kind of the topic or thought is,
Well, wait a minute. Hold on. Wait. Let's
yeah,
set some parameters here. What period are we talking about of surviving? Are we talking the month of November?
I'm going to look at it as for most guys, they are spending 80% of their PTO probably between November 1st through the 15th, 20th ish. And when I think of the survival aspect of this, I think you're hunting a lot, you're in the field a lot, you're not getting a lot of sleep. And these are not necessarily like hunt this type of bedding area, rattle at these times. This is more like what are things that we have found over the years from gear to aspects of life to overall hunting that just like allow you to keep grinding because I feel like a key aspect to being successful right now is just getting in the woods as much as possible and being able to still hunt if you have an open tag November 13th, 14th, 15th. Like, don't get burned out November 3rd.
Yeah. Well, and who even? I mean, you're probably a grown man. You could probably handle it, but the repercussions are going to come from your family. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? It's like I could be out there every day and deal with all that, but you got to kind of pick
Yeah.
once you have when you got people at your household that are dependent on you, day to day. I don't know. I hear a lot of guys get puffed up their chest and yada yada. Well, I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. It's deer season, yada yada. And it's like, yeah, I to an extent I get that. Like I just put my foot down yesterday. My wife was asking me to do some silly shit, and I just looked there and I said, I'm not doing that today. Like the time of the year that it is. If you're going to be mad at me, you're going to be mad at me. But I'm just telling you right now, I got limited days to get done what I need to get done. I planned for this all year, and I'm not doing that today. And whatever, it blew over. She wasn't super thrilled for a little bit, but she got over it.
Yeah.
Um, but I've been doing some stuff for her too. Like, hey, she wanted me to run this like 3.5. What are they? It's a 5K.
Yeah.
Dude, I haven't ran in months. Uh, I've been lifting pretty much every day, but I haven't ran in months. And I had no interest in it. Was a cold, calm. I don't know what day that was. It was
Late
I don't know.
October.
Yeah, when we had one of those good October cold fronts. Anyways, long story short, I looked at her, I said, just remember I'm gonna do this for you. She said, I said you didn't have to do it. I'm like, I heard you, but I'm gonna, and just remember that I did. And so anyways, if I'm talking about long-term survival through the rut, because for me, it's even a longer duration. I'm basically that Halloween period, you know, like October
Mhm.
25th was the day to me this year when boom, the cameras just turned on, mid morning cruising, hitting scrapes mid morning. It was the day specifically was October 25th for me. I'm going to carry this behavior on through the middle of December because I've just had too much success in December to write it off and not know that if I haven't gotten what I want and I still think there's a chance of a buck out there that I want to kill, if I have a tag or I'm in active pursuit of a deer and have reason to believe that I'm going to get it killed, and honestly, I only get more and more confidence the later that it gets because the better that we get chance that we get snow, and once we get snow and there's tracks on the ground, it becomes a lot easier, and the deer are kind of pushed into areas
Interesting.
and the people have typically left the woods and the deer recognize that. It doesn't take but a week or two for deer to get back to deer doing deer things. So so
Yeah, I know I have given up on the weekend after our gun season here in Ohio,
mhm.
and trail cam data shows that that's not a great idea as far as there's like some secondary rut type activity that my cameras have captured over the last 3 or 4 years. And I think when I was in my early 20s, I was like, no, the deer aren't back to normal behavior yet. And no, 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 they are much back to normal behavior by about a week after our gun season. The woods obviously get a high intense pressure for a week.
Yeah, if you follow the biology of it, deer start to breed in the beginning of November. That peaks at the middle, and this is regional, but specifically for me, for us here in Michigan. Deer begin to breed front end of November. Peak breeding is the middle of November. That carries on through the month. Um, and then if you have a doe that's not bred, or you have like last year's fawn, or not last year's fawn, this year's fawn, right? So what is the deer? The deer's June, July, August, September, October, November, December. The deer's 7, 8 months old.
Mm,
That deer will come into estrus for its first time. And that won't happen typically until the middle of December.
yeah.
So you have does in estrus from the front end of November to through the middle part of December, with that peaking the middle part of November. So it's the rut to me is about a 6 week window. So when you're talking about surviving the rut, dude, 6 weeks of total just irrational behavior from a modern day civilized person that's got to try to blend in with the workspace and family
Yeah.
life and all this and that. Dude, I'd be happy with cans of spaghettios and a tent and my bow and arrow and my equipment and just park me out in the woods somewhere. I wouldn't come out. Like, I love being in the woods this time of year so much, to the point where we have 2 tags. I filled one and I instantly felt a sense of stress that I only had one tag now, because I'm going to have to be pretty selective, and I've got multiple deer that have a lot of my attention. And I still have some travel hunts coming up and stuff, whereas like it'd be cool to kill on those. So I got to kind of figure out what to, you know, and I'm talking shit too. Like, I could eat crow and have all these deer and not get the job finished, but chances are, with the amount of deer that I'm very actively and interested in pursuing right now, uh, the next, till December, till the middle of December, till our traditional muzzleloader season ended out, which would
Yeah.
be, it's typically, around December 16th or something like that.
Do you drink beers in a garage? That's exactly why the garage bar was invented. Unfolds in seconds, ready to go. Pull your wood out and enjoy a cold one.
Yeah, man, you do have to survive. Got to squeak little workouts in wherever you can. Got to just, I can't personally go on a total bender on shit food diet. Like,
Yeah.
I tried that. I did, dude. I got in that pattern of behavior for a week, and being a 41-year-old man, whatever, I just felt like shit. I felt like shit. Like, it was not good. I felt bad. Um, I had to get myself back on eating good, making some food, getting some, because I'm just, running and gunning out of the gas stations. Cashews, beef jerky, cheese, fatty and protein, just grabbing macros, coffee, energy drinks, whatever, water. Um, you got to take care of yourself, like, seriously. I know everybody's in different chapters of their life. 20-year-old guys listen to this saying, 20-year-old me, dude, we just live off a pack of hot dogs and a case of beer, and like, it wouldn't even phase us whatsoever. You know what I mean? We might even end up feeling better after a couple days of that behavior. But
Yeah.
in the here and in the now, um vitamins, supplements, trying
But
to eat reasonably good, and then getting some form of squeaking some form of exercise in, even if you cut it in half from what you're doing not during deer season, and you do 2 or 3 days a week. Dude, your mental clarity will benefit from it. You'll physically feel better. For me, it's really important that I don't let my physical health decline, because I have to make a conscious effort, because all I care about right now is deer hunting. That's it.
yeah. Now, I will say this from the physical workouts. One, don't do a big leg day because chances are you're going to need them in a day or two, especially if you shoot one. And I will say this: I lose a lot of weight during the rut because of like the workout aspect. Like I was hunting this, I don't know.
You do look skinny.
Yeah, I hunted late October 4 days, and then I just did a 3 day deer camp here. But like the other day I'm hunting 1.4 miles from the truck, a 500-foot climb, and then I scouted for a little bit midday, and then like a mile commute back to the truck. So like Dude, that's like a 2 hour ruck mixed into the day. That's a lot of energy and cows. And actually, I drank 3 beers the night Dave shot that buck because, like, dude, my best friend shot a buck. But I felt like I drank 13 beers. I mean, the next day it was awful. Water
Because you were
intake,
just
I think.
because you were worn down and just like not, yeah, you're already behind the curve.
Yeah, and I think water intake is something I struggle with because you can only bring so much.
Mm-hmm.
You know, something that you said on a podcast, or I think you texted me a couple years ago that I started doing was the electrolyte mix.
Yeah.
Having that at your truck for drinking it in the morning after you have your coffee or caffeinated, so you're driving to the woods or whatever, drink some of that. But then after your hunt, go ahead and pound those electrolytes as well.
Well, and yeah, especially if you have a couple beers and you wake up in the morning not feeling like 100. I found these little, they're like little tubes. You get them at Meyer. There's like 6 or 8 little tablets in there. It's almost like an Alka-Seltzer,
Okay.
but it's a hydration tablet. So
Mm-hmm.
you drop them in 16 ounces of water and they fizz up. Dude, those things are great. They're not terribly expensive. You get a little tube of them. You could throw them in your backpack or whatever.
Yeah.
I moved away from the other electrolyte things that I was doing, and that's my preferred one right now. But that's like a mandatory thing. I'm glad you brought it up because, like, that's a thing that I have to have in my kit right now. That probably some Tums or Rolaids, like in case we get into some bourbons and have spaghetti dinner like we did a couple nights ago, dude. I had made world class spaghetti dinner and we had some bourbons, and you could bet I woke up with some heartburn. So I keep some of those for emergency situations. Dude, we could really talk about, we could get into this a little bit. I don't eat spicy food during deer season because I don't want to have some type of shit adventure out in the woods. I made that mistake one time, Byron Horton. One time before I left for deer camp, I went out with my girlfriend to dinner, and I feel like maybe this was even, the times were so good we might even been to Hooters.
Mm.
But I pounded a bunch of like hot buffalo wings. And the next day we left for camp and we were driving up and we pulled into a place to have breakfast, and dude, my stomach started rumbling, and they had like a 1-person bathroom. And this was an emergency situation. There's a person in the bathroom, so I like kind of run out and run next door to the gas station. Their bathroom's out of order. So no bathroom, and I'm like literally gonna have like an emergency.
Yeah, it's go time.
Yeah, so it's so bad. I never experienced anything like it. And finally that guy came out of the bathroom, dude, and I dove in there, and that bathroom, they might actually had to make an insurance claim on that building after that situation, because it was anyways. I only made that mistake one time, and during deer season, like I hear the horse, like guys, like, oh my god, I had to cut the sleeve off my pants or my shirt because
Lose a sock.
I ate 32 jalapeno poppers last night, and that would be so easy for me to do, like jalapeno poppers at deer camp and some beers and stuff. But I kind of have like a no spice rule, a little bit of hot sauce, but I'm not eating peppers and I'm not eating spicy food and this and that. It's just specifically so that I can like keep myself regular. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a dump in the morning before I go out hunting, and then potentially, in the afternoon, I could be a two a day type of individual. But but I'm taking care of my business before I go out in the morning,
Yeah.
and not having any fucking adventures while we're out there. And I like spicy food, but I can go without it for 6 or 8 weeks.
Yeah. Two other like rut kind of supplemental stuff that I picked up on. Last year, I started keeping a thing of pre-workout at the truck. So if I shoot one late, I can take a scoop of that, and it's got about 100 mg's of caffeine. But I was on this this canoe in hunt, and the guys had the Mio energy shots, which you like. It's basically you squirt the liquid in your water bottle, and you can make it as strong as you want. But he said he could literally wake up, grab that Mio, and just shoot it in his mouth, like almost taking like a dry scoop of a pre-workout essentially, but like just a lot easier to consume caffeine quickly.
We have become conscious that we will never decrease efforts towards attempting to be better. We understand that if we aren't growing, we are dying. We simply refuse to accept status quo. We will continue to gain education through experience, and when we kill that buck of a lifetime, there will have been nothing accidental about it. Be surgical.
And because on those hunts too, like I'm not making a cup of coffee before I hit the woods just because then you got to jack around with it. If I was tent camping, truck camping, for sure I'll make a cup of coffee. I'll take the extra 5 minutes and fire up the Jetboil. I like coffee in the morning before a cold deer hunt, but I
Yeah.
thought those two things were good things for a guy to keep in his pack. Like, dude, if you're hunting on day 3 in a row and shoot a buck at night, and now you know you got like 2 hours to go get him and get him back to the truck, yeah, dude, caffeinate up so you can then get that deer out the woods and maybe have a beer or two when you get back.
Yeah. Other than that, I don't know. Keep your stuff organized. That's a thing. Kind of have a little bit of a system and a place where things go. So you're not. I got one buddy. He's just always looking for everything, dude. It's like you're like bringing my kid. Like, dude, how do you not know where your shit is? Like, so I think it's good to have a system and be a little bit organized. Obviously, I think most people that are listening to this probably already understand that, but in the heat of the moment, it goes a long ways. Just like not have to be looking for your stuff all the time. Just it really simplifies and expedites it. How many times you go in and out and this and that. I don't know how many times I've been out now, but
I call it hunting rhythm. Once you hunt like 4 or 5 times, you figure a few things out.
Yeah,
and now you're flowing.
That sure is nice.
Yeah, I do sometimes like a midday nap at the base of my tree where if I'm doing an all day sit or even if I'm going to shift positions for the evening hunt, I'll come down to the base of the tree. I generally do this at like 1 or 2 o'clock. Like I still like to maybe catch that 11 to noon type of like middle of the day cruise, like if you will. But like I feel like 1 to 2 o'clock, I feel a lot safer coming down. And I'll nap at the base of my tree because generally I've gotten up early and I'm getting to bed late, and just an hour at the base of my tree sometimes is just like a much needed nap.
Yeah.
So there's that, and then I know some guys will say like sleep in a day, and I go the opposite route. I say give up an evening hunt. I really like morning hunts during the rut because I feel like you almost get 2 hunts for one, where you get the first couple hours of daylight, and then you get the late morning cruising movement. So I would rather give up an evening post, and that's just me. I get some guys maybe have killed way more bucks in the evening, but I would rather have an easy hunt or no hunt in the evening, and then know that next morning I'm going back after it.
Yeah, as long as you're doing the things that we're doing, talking about, if you're taking care of yourself and you're not being an idiot, if you do stay up and get wounded, yeah, you might have to have a recovery day, but you got limited days, so you could figure that out. God, I don't know if you can hear it, but dude, the wind and just driving rain here. Like,
you guys got the front today, huh?
Yeah, I don't know what we got going out there. 25-mile-an-hour wind, 30-mile-an-hour wind gusts or whatever, but it's driving rain out right now. But if you're taking care of yourself, I think you can push through a lot of that stuff. Like I said, those hydration tablets are really great. Like I'm the same way. If I have a cocktail or two, I'll know I'll know in the morning. Oh wow, starting to get some power flicker in here.
That's right. Oh, geez. The other rut survival tip I have is cold feet. Like Jason Samkoviak gave me this tip. I made a YouTube video. People love it. But like take an old hunting sock, cut it at the heel, and now you basically have a mitten effect that I put over my my hiker boot. I put it over the toe box, if you will, and it creates like a mitten for your boot. But like separating your cold feet from the tree stand, honestly, best hunting tip I've probably received in the last 5 years from Jason Samkoviak. Because cold feet suck. Like, and obviously we're going to be getting a little better, colder temps. Not necessarily in the next couple days, but probably in the next 10 days.
Yeah.
But
those
were a couple of my rut survivals.
I use the chemical hand warmer and the toe one specifically. You know, if it's going to be cold where I think my feet are going to get cold, one, I buy my boots like a size or two big so that there's room, a lot of adequate air room in there. I don't want my boots to be tight at all late season. And just if you're going to specifically have a pair of boots for late season hunting, I would buy them a size or two big so
Yeah.
that you have all that airspace in between your foot and the actual material. I mean, the difference that it makes can't be understated, can't be overstated. Could it be understated or overstated? I don't know. Anyway, but then you can fit one of those little hot hand deals in there as well, and I mean, you'll never have cold feet. It's
Yeah.
it's phenomenal. My feet are getting warmer right now just thinking about it.
Classic. Occasionally, late season, I do the Arctic Shield boot covers and throw a hand warmer or two in those.
Mm.
But that's a very rare occasion. I like the cut sock method because everyone's got extra hunter socks and they pack down super small. And we thought it was placebo effect years ago, but like it's like really it makes a huge difference when you take your boot and separate it from the cold metal tree stand. Just like holding a normal bow. Now Prime obviously has a built-in grip with a, but like think about holding a metal piece of tree stand or your bow out in the elements when it's cold and then adding like a glove or something to it. That's what you're doing to your boot, your toe box. And yeah, cold feet is by far the worst.
Yeah. Well, I don't get cold feet, so otherwise I would try that.
Okay.
Yeah, no, my system's been good for a long time. I don't sit out there being uncomfortable, so yeah, those little, and I put a couple of those hot hands in my pockets. And then here's a tip: we've talked about it before, but if I have a jacket, I'll take one or two, the mega one or two of the smaller ones, and I'll put it right here, basically on your chest, and then zip your jacket up. And then I'll also take and put one in my neck warmer here, and then one underneath of my hat here. So this area of the back of your head, where your spine attaches to your skull, has blasting heat on it. It's like it's incredible how comfortable I mean, I've sat out there in sub-zero temperatures in a tree for hours, and you have all your points of heat loss covered.
Yeah.
You're actually gaining heat at the points where you tend to lose it, and those things will go for hours.
Yeah. Your podcast that went out with the WSI guy, he talked about the neck is a portal to like your heat loss. And people
Yeah.
don't realize it, how important keeping your neck warm is. I'm a sucker for like even just light gaiters when it's even like 40, 50 degrees.
I don't know how people don't wear them. Honestly, yeah, you're not going to catch me unless, yeah, it's like in the 50s or 60s. Like, you're not going to catch me without a neck gaiter. And then I have like a midweight and then like a fleece. I have a fleece one that I'll use basically like last weekend. It was 28 when I went out, and it was cold all morning. And I'm glad I had that fleece. And then I have a late season thick hat too. Yeah, if you have a good hat and a good neck warmer, it goes a long ways. Those two items can transform your comfort level without changing the rest of your get up. You know what I mean? You could have a jacket and bibs and gloves, but if your head and neck aren't properly protected, you're likely going to suffer.